Oh, I didn't put on my eyebrows. Good morning. Really silly. So cute. Torden? Ja. The day this is coming out, it's Lucia. That is the darkest day of the year. That's why we have Lucia. And we have something called Lucia train. Like when the Lucia walks first, and then it's our handmaidens, and then the star guys, and singing all the songs. And it's all about its turning. That she brings the light when it's the darkest. Now, because of religion, because we're Christian, they swapped the calendar from the Julian calendar to the Gregorian calendar. So really, it should be a week ahead. So it doesn't actually happen at the darkest time, but still, it doesn't matter. 13th of December is Lucia, and Lucia is like my favorite ever. I love Lucia, everything. So yeah, just so you know, when you're watching this and you're thinking about Lucia, they're coming there with lights in her hair and singing. So of course I needed to paint a Lucia, and I found this really nice image. I really wanted to focus on light and darkness in this portrait, so I found a nice little image on Google and sketched it out. And it's such a long time ago since I was like in a routine of drawing and painting, which I have sort of underestimated, like how much that actually does for you to be in a routine of doing that. I think in some way, once you have learned something, it sort of stays with you and you have that knowledge, but there is something very much that is a flow when you're in it. And that's sort of, I think, why I got this sketchbook to begin with. Partly because I really feel like I want to become better at portraits and focus more on that, but also just being in that routine of constantly doing it, sort of. So I just sat down and I decided I'm going to use my studio palette, which is just a massive cake plate that I have on a wood, like spinning wood thing. And the paints on this palette is mostly Daniel Smith. There is also a few White Knight and also Old Holland, but mostly is Daniel Smith and White Knight, and I just really love them. And I don't get me wrong, because I really like my own paints too, but it's something, I mean, these paints, I have been painting with these for years and years, and I just really enjoy them, and I have so many options that I just can't get for my own. And I decided I need to finish the whole thing off with the new color that is coming 1st of January the next year, and that is Matte. It's made together with Jem from the Color Cave, and I just thought it was perfect here, and I'm so happy with the results. I was at the bathroom doing my peeing, as you do, and my mom, she takes this phone call on my phone. Great. I was like, I'm doing my peeing, I can't answer. And she keeps talking on this person on the phone, and then she's like, oh wait, she comes through the door, you can talk to her now. And it's a false, like a phone sailor tried to sail, not sail, tried to sell me something, and I'm like, I'm really not that interested, I'm really sorry. Anyway, we took a little excursion, a very small one. We went to our neighbor, and looked at her studio. She opens her studio during Christmas, and we decided to go there, and it was lovely. And it's so inspiring always, and I'm like, I just want to do stuff So we decided we need to have a play date later. But of course I got home with something. It is lovely. I'm going to show you just like the lid. Now it has a big crack in it, but so she's like, you can have it really cheap. But I don't think it will, like, it just looks amazing. She is so clever. So she does quite a lot of burning in the raku, like the old Japanese style. It's just so pretty. I will link her Instagram down below. So if you're in Sweden, then look her up because she does really cute stuff. Also, I found these. Let me just show you. They're little buttons, and because I'm working on my vest, I think these would be perfect. And she was like, I also need a vest. So I might be knitting her a vest later on. I just wanted to sort of look at my little painting that I was working on before and see if I'm happy with it or if I want to add something to it. I would really like to stick to just watercolor in my new project up here, just to see how far I can stretch myself with the watercolor medium. But I do feel like you are allowed, my god, what he is up to. You are allowed to use some white in the eyes. I think that's okay. And with it, I'm actually really quite happy with it, considering just used watercolor, haven't done a lot of good watercolor lately, and this is how it turns out. I feel like I could really capture, if I'm like squinting at it, I can tell like the light. I also feel like she's a bit crooked. And also, that blue color. That blue color. That is nut. And it's made, composed by Jem from the Color Cave, and it will be out in the new year. But I just had to use it because it looks like a night sky and I love it. And I love that when I just added a bit more, so you can almost get like that sort of tree foresty effect. Pretty. Very pretty. I had grand plans, as always, of what I was going to do, but I actually think I'm just going out here and picking up the computer. Do I need the computer? Yeah, I need a computer because I'm watching something on the computer, and we're going to head up to the loft, and I'm going to do something about Yeti. I have no idea what's up with that. Okay, I'll see you up at the loft. It's an utter mess. Well, I think the problem is that I never really got everything situated or like organized before I started just living in it, to be honest. Okay, so here we have a little snowman, how it looks now, but I want him to hold something. I did try and make some birds before in the clay, and we're not using those because, oh boy, but that's okay. Instead, I have rummaged through some stuff that I had out in the studio. So, we have tiny bells, and I have made these little pine cones. And I'm pretty sure what I did was those kind of die-cutting flower shapes that is like a spiral with petals. I've done that, but I've just not done them like flat. I've sort of pushed them out a bit. And then, so that's something I did years ago and I just kept, which is good for me now. Something I just want to make like a garland with little bells and pine cones and something like that. Okay, so I've settled in for some knitting time. I've bribed Albert. It's his favorite bone, but it's just like a miniature version of that huge one. Well, actually this is like the medium size and the other one is just huge. Anyway, so I started on the round blanket yesterday and this is how far I came. So I used the first color, just joined in the second one. This is how much I had left. And I decided to add in this white. Is like a lace weight, so it's really, really thin. And it's this soft alpaca lace. Because this pattern is like, you need to keep track on what row you are on. I'm really missing having just a pair of socks. So when I feel like it, I'm going to cast on a pair of socks with the hot pink I managed to save. And this amazing color, I don't even know what color. It's hedgehog fiber from their autumn yarn club. We are really tired. It's 6:33. So obviously we're really tired. My round blanket. I think it comes out nicely. I just have like this little bit left and I'm like, will it go a whole round? I don't know. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is, this is how much I had left from the first color. So I'm thinking I'm going to pop them in here and then do like a really scrappy pair of like fingerless mittens or something, just something I can wear from the calendar. That way I get like 2 projects for the price of 1. Now that I'm adding in that extra. Okay, so I'm just going to break that off. And I was like, I don't know how much I will like this very mustard yellow and then this lovely cold purple. And then I was like, well, it's my project. I can do whatever I want. But let's see what it has in store for today. May they be happy. Oh, I hope so. So we have this, and it looks so similar to this one, just more saturated. Yeah, first I was like, okay, but if I'm going to mix different colors, maybe I should open the whole thing before I start picking. But you know what, I'm just going to go for it and pick whatever color I'm feeling for at the moment. It will be fine. Also, I did start, so I have a toe of a new sock. I did finish my little snowman. I am so happy with it. I love it. And it turned out like the way I had imagined it, which always makes it better. So yeah, I think a pretty good day on the whole. Early night for us. And yeah, I think also the cold, it's getting better, but it's definitely still here. So anyway, yeah, I'm trying to because I was looking here and I was like, oh yeah, don't forget to do that. But you know what? If I forget something, I'll remember it because I'll be back tomorrow.